Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin from grayflorals.com and I am back with the Falling Back to Basics series. Now this is a little bit of a longer video, but we are doing another layout process where we show mixing and matching patterns. So I have a double photo layout today. So two photos here, one's a selfie and one's a landscape of the view from the building. I originally pulled out this navy. Now, I don't work with navy very often, but I do love the results of it, and it actually worked out really well on this page because I didn't bring in any black elements, really. I also pull in this floral. I thought they would look good together, but I wasn't sure how I would, mat them together. I wasn't sure if the blue would go on top of the floral or the floral on top of the blue. But as we talked about in the mixing and matching pattern paper tutorial video, these are different size patterns. They're also different types of patterns. This polka dot chevron is very graphic, and the florals are more of an organic feel. They are sharing one color, that is the navy, and the white, and then I'm also going through the 6x6 here because I thought that would help me. I knew I wanted to map my photos a lot, so I pull out a bunch of the different pinks and navy patterns from this set. Again, this is the Jen Hadfield Everyday, which we also go over in that video, and if you have not seen those videos yet, I'll have them linked down below with the playlist for the Falling Back to Basics series, and I'll also have my November How to Kill a Kit with Style playlist linked down below in case you guys haven't seen all of those videos yet. So here we're left with two pieces of paper, and I'm not sure how to make it work. I know that this would look good. I thought. I did it. It's cut. Can't go back. And I thought that the flowers were still eating up the rest of this. It looked too busy. I think the florals need to be toned down. I thought maybe I could stack two 6x6 of one of these beautiful easygoing patterns like that polka dot, but there were only one of each of those in the paper pad. I don't know if I used them or if they're just gone forever, but no way to do that. So I go back to the 12x12, and the problem with this 12x12 is the patterns range so differently in color and style that they're hard to work. But I do find this. Now this is just a pink plaid. I really think it's beautiful. And I think, okay, we'll just do one of those 1/3, 2/3 layout where the patterns overlap. Now, if you guys don't like mixing and matching patterns, you could do this, but with a plain cardstock border. But I thought these two met up really well. It wasn't too crazy, and I could put a divider in with a piece of paper or some washi tape. Like that washi tape I just pulled out would help, assimilate that line and not make it so aggressive. So I decided to gut this floral paper, which it's one of my favorite papers from this collection. I think it's so pretty, and I have used it before. And now it lives on because I'm gutting it. And if you have not seen that, there are tutorials online on how to do this. But my trimmer has a 1-inch mark, so I can go from 1 inch down to 11, make a cut, turn it, go from 1 inch to 11, all the way around. So I have a 1-inch border around my page so that these can still fit on there. So this is what it's going to be. There's going to be the floral around the edges, and then the navy on the left, the pink on the right. It's definitely a lot going on because we do have a lot of directional pieces, but the colors go really well together, so I think it still flows. Now again, if you're not into this many patterns, you could definitely make this more subtle by including a cardstock or like just a plainer pattern. These are, again, very busy, heavy patterns, but I think it works. Now, I did think it needed a little bit more definition, so what I decided to do is use a Tim Holtz Distress ink. This is the Chip Sapphire color, which is close to navy, I guess. It's the only dark blue I had. And I'm going to ink around the edges. Now, what's really fun is I've never used this ink before. It's just one of those colors I haven't gotten to yet, so it was really fun to use that. And I had to open up a new set of foam pieces and, actually put one with this color. So I thought that was great. So once I have these glued down, I think the definition really appears well on the pink side. You can kind of see that thin, dark line around the edges. It just helps it pop. It's like the same idea if you put foam behind something. If you raise it up, then a natural shadow will be created, and it looks a little bit better. Now, I do change up my idea of putting the photos on the left-hand side. I end up putting them kind of on both, kind of in the middle, which you'll see as I go through. But here I'm looking for some other patterns to include because I had a little bit of, I felt a little stuck with the patterns I had chosen. So I have the bright pink polka dot paired with the light gray triangle, and then I have this geometric pattern paired with the stripe. Here I am doing musical chairs with all these patterns. I wasn't sure which photo I wanted on the other. So since this photo of me and my boyfriend had high contrast due to our dark shirts and the bright window behind us, I put these with the darker elements. So I grabbed that geometric blue and pink pattern, ink the edges, and then I put it on the pink and white stripe. I just think it provides a little bit more of the high contrast that's in the photo. It helps balance that, in my opinion. Again, you might think otherwise, which is perfectly fine. And so for the other one, I go for the subtler patterns, the subtler colors, the pink polka dot, and then the gray and white triangle. The neutral helps bring out the cloud colors. Again, this is a landscape photo, so sometimes it's hard to pick out which colors to go for. And when doing inking on paper, I usually don't do it on every element on a scrapbook page, usually just the photo layers and any big pattern paper layers. I don't often do it on the embellishments. It really depends though, and it's up to you guys. You could definitely ink everything if that's what you want, but I was thinking not this time. And again, I apologize this video is so long. This video took me so long to film, and you'll see why. We go a little bit ham on the embellishing here, and I struggled with title placement, and again, this layout's about patterns, but I think if we get past the pattern point of mixing and matching our patterns, sometimes it's hard to incorporate the embellishments afterwards. So I go through that struggle here because there's a lot of colors going on. There's a lot I want to put on. There's a lot of options I could put on. So first I start going through my How to Kill a Kit with Style kit items that I pulled out, those freckled fawn words, those stickers that I'd pulled out, and then I start going through my die cuts. Now these are my die cut binders, similar to what Janet RTS does. I found these photo sleeves and just put them in there. I actually have a video explaining this over on my Patreon. Now I wouldn't recommend it. I don't think it's a long-term solution, only because these have been known to damage photos before. So if you're weary about your die cuts and you don't think you'll go through them fast enough, I don't recommend this. But I had these lying around, thought I'd put them in here and give it a try. So far I'm liking it. But if you're interested in seeing more organizational tips like that, you can head over to my Patreon. I also filmed an exclusive video for them about how I cleaned up after creating this exact layout. So if you see my mess at the end here, you'll know that there's a ton of stuff on my desk that needs to be put away, and I go through that entire process in a short 10-minute video over there. So here I thought I'd layer my photos one more time with one of these blocks. I end up not doing that only because I thought I might use those for something else later on. So I did pull out one scrap piece. That little note-shaped piece in the bottom right was just sitting on my desk. I pulled in a tag. I pulled in, there's just a lot going on, floating around. Stuff will leave, stuff will come, stuff will go. But what I do love about all these elements is we're pulling in different shades of pink. We're sticking with the navy whenever I can. So far, no black's been brought onto this layout, and if you guys know me, I don't like mixing black and navy. I have a hard time telling apart the difference a lot of times, but I avoid black a lot on this particular layout. So I know this is sped up pretty fast, but again, I am just, as She's Crafty would say, auditioning pieces for my layout. I love that she uses that word. And if you guys haven't checked her out, definitely check her out. You can just Google She's Crafty on YouTube and you'll find her. But what I really, really love is that there are so many different navy elements in my stash that I had no idea I had. You can see here me pulling out some teal elements as well, some pink and teal. And I think it's really, really fun to use those whenever we can. And I apologize it goes in and out of focus a little bit here. I started focusing on the reflective items, and again, if you guys know or film videos yourself, you'll know reflectives and glitters can be really detrimental to the camera's focusing abilities. So first I trimmed down this LE Studio tag that says currently. Again, these photos are us at our local library back in New York when we used to live there. And I thought there's a great view, and I took a picture, and we actually went because they were having a book sale, and we actually have like tons and tons of books now, and buying secondhand used books or using the library for books is a great way to read books. Not saying you shouldn't buy brand new books, but sometimes it's better to buy used just for the environment's sake. Here I'm starting to glue down this cluster. Now this cluster is a little bit busy. We have that top note shape, we have that illustrated Faith floral sticker, that Your Gem piece that is from the 6x6 paper pad, a mint star sticker which was sent to me by Daisy. Thank you, Daisy. I'm using some of those on this layout. And then we have this LE Studio piece. We have that really old chipboard star. If you guys remember, I hauled those so long ago. They're actually from Target, from a summer collection from so long ago. There were stars, there were whales, all sorts of cuteness. I also glue in that round navy star and that teal heart rubber shape, which I think it was Dolly that sent me that from a competition that I won, or I mean a monthly challenge that I won. So I'm really glad I got to use that. The Freckled Fawn Reed, the Jen Hadfield Thumbtack. Guys, we are diving into so many collections on this layout, and it feels so good when you're able to do this. And I think the key to doing this, mixing and matching collections, and if you guys want a whole video about that, let me know in the comments down below. But what I think the key is sticking with a simple color scheme. I picked pinks, and I picked navy, and then that pop of mint whenever I could. But it's a very specific tealy mint, so you'll see that I don't go for it too often. But I think that's the key for mixing and matching different collections. I have Jelly Bean Soup on here, that little house is from there, and I glued that down because it's got this hometown vibe to it. We can see houses in the distance. I thought it worked. A bunch of these things were actually sent to me by Dolly from a winning that I had. That scallop puffy sticker underneath the top left photo, that tab that says the best at the top is from her. So many cute things, and I just go ham. And this layout is almost complete. I hate to break it to everyone. And again, sorry for the reflection and the focus and unfocus, but it's fast because it's sped up 4 times. Yes, this layout took me way over an hour to do, but when I sit down to do a layout, generally it's not planned at all. Usually the photos are paired together that I know I want to use on a single page, but other than that, nothing's really generally together. I bring in another one of those teal little hearts from Daisy, and then I go for some of these freckled fawn hearts. These are just some of their enamel ones, and I'll have these linked down below in case you guys are interested, as well as all the other products I can find. Some of these are quite old, so I don't know if I'll be able to, but I know you can get the Jen Hadfield Everyday paper pad still on Amazon, so I'll have those linked down below in case you guys are interested in adding those to your stash. I had a Webster's Pages sticker here. If you guys know, those are in my How to Kill a Kit with Style kit as well. So we're really diving in deep on this. I would say this is more of a diagonal pattern, but there's a lot going on. This is one of those layouts where I kept embellishing and kept embellishing and kept embellishing, and I really don't mind how it turned out because it is so monochromatic with the pinks that they're not distracting in any way to me. I had a couple more of these Jen Hadfield puffy stickers. These little florals are so, so cute. And then I add in some of those pink arrows that were in that same set. Now, I originally thought I was going to call this like library something, or I was going to use these gold glitter thickers with the pink underneath. I thought this would be a good accent. But then I remember I have just plain pink thickers somewhere. So I actually get up out of my chair, walk around my room, and found these guys sitting in my thicker storage. And I pull out this set, which I've used a couple times. I actually used this exact set the last time I used this blue floral paper. So I thought it was really, really funny that I did that. I end up titling this Book Hunt, and again, I add some extra adhesive under these to glue them down because they can be a little pesky like that. So once I have them adhesified, this layout practically is complete, but don't worry, there's another thing coming. I also really like about these alphabets is that they stand out against the blue very well, even though it's a very busy pattern paper. And they have their own texture, which I think is pretty important when trying to layer on top of pattern paper. So I thought this layout's not complete without some sequins, so I pull in another set of the Spiegelmom Scrap sequins, which I'll also have linked down below in case you guys are interested. I used to be on the design team for Spiegelmom Scrap, so I have a ton of sequins. I did speed that up relatively quickly because this layout has been super long, but here are the close-ups, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, mixing and matching pattern paper can be difficult, but it can be done. Even these busy ones can be used together. Remember, inking is a great, great way to add some dimension without adding a lot of color or bulk to your pages. Here you can see the inking on the right side of that pink plaid in the background. But I really enjoyed doing these crazy clusters, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching me do them. Even though it was a bit fast, I did want to make this as fast as possible so you guys aren't, you know, wasting your time just on my videos. There's plenty of other great YouTubers to watch and things to be scrapped. So I hope you guys enjoy this video again. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys again very, very soon. Bye!